Part two, we're going to be wrapping up on this C5, finishing on the trans install. We got it buttoned up as far as the end of the car yesterday, like late last night. We're going to go ahead and just get started on the process, kind of finish that out for you guys, showing y'all what's going on. All three converter bolts are tight and in, Loctited in. Always make sure you use Loctite on your converter bolts. Again, on these you have to come in with the pry bar and just kind of pry that flex plate around as you're turning the motor over, or this whole thing over, to get to these converter bolts. It is an extreme pain in the ass to do. We're going to go ahead and move on to these rear brake lines back here, reattach those, and we'll probably start throwing some of the harness back in and plug them back up and start putting the exhaust back on. Get everything tightened back up, and then we'll move on to the suspension last. We're going to be replacing this neutral safety switch. Here's an old one. Connector was a little jacked up. Whenever you go to put these in, it does have a metal tab because this one is new. But if you see, it's got these two lines right there. That is what lines up neutral. So whenever we already have the shifter in the car set at neutral, we'll have to do the actual bracket thing that comes out of the trans, the linkage. We'll set that at neutral, and we'll get this thing slid on. And then if you notice, it has these slotted adjustments there. That's once it's in, you can verify that those lines do line up. So we'll go with that thrown on. So it is in park right now. We're gonna set reverse, should be neutral. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing set in. So it's set on. If you see, like I said, you have these two lines. Let me get it to focus. You have the two lines right there. So you have these as slots for adjustability. Obviously, if you move it, they will move. You want to make sure that they are lined up together for whenever you make your adjustment and you get it bolted in. Exhaust getting ready to go back on. I do already have both over axles already back in. I forgot to kind of get that section of it. We're going to throw on this X-pipe first, and then the other little connecting pieces to the over axles, and we will get to the harness and whatnot on the further back end of it. Exhaust is completely on. Crossovers, down, connecting, X pipe all the way to the headers. Everything's on. We will now move on. We'll plug in some of this harness stuff, and as far as routing, make sure everything's tied where it's supposed to be. As far as all of your little clips, whatnot, keep everything out of contact, away from heat, and we'll show you that. So my phone died. I didn't get any of the putting the rear cradle back together, but all that suspension stuff's back together. Full exhaust on it already. Gonna bleed the brakes here in just a second. Gonna throw trans fluid in it, and we should be ready to start up here. I did have to go get a little pump for me to put the stuff in for trans fluid, and I had to go grab brake fluid, but we'll do that in just a second.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get ready to bleed these brakes. Since we had them open for so long, which I do cap them off anyways, whenever I do break that line, I do like to just kind of open that bleeder up, let it gravity feed, kind of get some fluid to there, so I'm not just pumping for no reason. It's already got one drip come down, so when it starts kind of get another, we have that fluid reaching there without cavitating. We'll close it off. We'll go do the other side real quick, and then we'll start pumping, and we'll bleed the brakes. We're gonna throw trans fluid in it real fast. You do have to pump these in. There's no dipstick or anything like that. So what you do is you pull the drain plug out, and then, like I said, there's no fluid in the trans anyways, new trans. So you pull the drain plug out, we're gonna pump it full. That's also our fill hole on this trans. So we're gonna be pumping the fluid through there. When it starts to kind of come out, then we'll start the car up, we'll let it run. And then as it's running, we're gonna be pumping fluid in until the fluid comes out of the drain hole again, and then the trans will be full. We'll cycle it through the gears, get it up to temp and all that stuff, whatnot. And then we're gonna recheck trans fluid and verify everything's good. So yeah, I'll show you how to do that. It's kind of a shitty pump, but it's kind of O'Reilly's what we're working with. So trans fluid, for the most part, is pre-filled. Batteries hooked up, brakes are bled. We're gonna go ahead and start it, and then we'll continue to put trans fluid in, filling it up as it's running. right, guys, Corvette is done, wrapped up. 4060 is shipping good for all 4 gears, surprisingly. This thing is good. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing to the car wash real fast and clean it up, let the customer know it's ready. Tell you guys, if Mama didn't want a Corvette, she does now. I could fucking listen to this thing all day. It is beautiful. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Owner's on his way to come get it. It's all freshly washed, ready to go.